You've heard the advice, love yourself. It's everywhere. Therapy, self-help, social media. And for a moment, it feels right because it sounds compassionate. It sounds healthy. It sounds like the opposite of self-criticism. So let me be clear from the start. This advice is not given with bad intentions. It's meant to reduce shame. It's meant to encourage kindness. The problem isn't the spirit of the advice. The problem is what happens when people try to follow it. Let me ask you a question. If someone could truly love themselves on command, why wouldn't they already be doing it? Because most people want to feel good about themselves. They don't wake up wanting to feel inadequate. They don't enjoy self-doubt. So if self-love was just a decision, if it was just a mindset, if it were just a choice, this wouldn't be such a struggle. Here's where most advice goes quietly wrong. It assumes you only have one mind, one system making choices, one voice deciding how you feel about yourself. But Dianetics has always said something different. And that brings us to the most important discovery. There are two parts of the mind. First, you have the analytical mind. It thinks, it observes, it solves problems. It records everything in a time-stamped sequence, much like a video camera. But then you have the reactive mind. The reactive mind has one job, survival. It does not think, it does not reason, it does not care what you believe. It doesn't respond to logic. It doesn't respond to mindset, reframing, meditation, or talk therapy. Most therapies don't even acknowledge this part of the mind exists. The reactive mind stores stress, pain, unconsciousness, and loss. And it reacts automatically. This is where people get stuck. They believe that if they could just control their thoughts, these reactions wouldn't happen. But the problem is this. By the time you try to control your thoughts, the reactive mind has already kicked in. That's not weakness, that's a timing problem. Let me explain how the reactive mind works. Imagine when you were a child, you're climbing a tree and you fall. There's pain, there's dust in your nose, your head hurts, your friends are calling you stupid, words. You might even go slightly unconscious. In that moment, the reactive mind stores all of that emotional stress as one snapshot, not separate memories. The pain, the emotion, the embarrassment, the unconsciousness. And decisions you make could be anything. It's not safe to reach higher, or climbing too high could be dangerous. All of it gets recorded together. In the book Dianetics, this is called an engram. And the reactive mind is made up of engrams. Self-hate does not come from the analytical mind. It comes from the reactive mind. Specifically from recordings that formed when you were not completely in control. An engram is not an opinion, it is not a belief. It's not a thought you decided to have. An engram is a little recording of words, emotions, sensations, and perceptions made during moments of pain or stress. And recordings don't respond to encouragement. They don't respond to logic. They don't respond to insight or affirmations. They only respond when they are discharged. This is where many people finally understand why they feel stuck. When someone is told to love yourself, that command doesn't land in the analytical mind. It hits whatever recording is already there. And if that recording says you're not good enough, you always mess things up, you don't deserve love, then the reactive mind responds instantly. Not with love, with contradiction. No, you don't. You're lying. You don't deserve that. That internal pushback, it's not weakness, it's charge. Charge is emotional energy trapped in the reactive mind. It's the reason certain thoughts trigger such strong feelings. It's why saying something positive about yourself can make you feel worse about yourself instead of better. The advice didn't fail because you didn't try hard enough. It failed because it spoke to the wrong system. Affirmations attempt to override the reactive mind with the analytical mind. But when charge exists, the reactive mind has priority. That's why people say things like, I've tried affirmations. They don't work. They're not broken. They're just dealing with a system that doesn't respond to commands. You can think of the analytical mind and the reactive mind as two separate file cabinets. So when you're trying to fix reactions with insights, analysis, positive thinking, or therapy, you're talking to the wrong file cabinet. Now here's how it works. If anything in the present reminds you subconsciously of something contained in an engram, that recording turns on. When that happens, the reactive mind turns on and the analytical mind shuts off. The reactive mind hijacks the analytical mind. That's when you lose control. You've seen this when people fly off the handle. They say things they don't mean. It's like a recording, the same recording playing over and over. You might even do it to yourself. You stub your toe and you say something like, oh my God, I'm so stupid. Why did I do that? That's not coming from your thinking mind. That's coming directly from an engram. This is why so many approaches fail. They assume just one mind and that all this overwhelming stress, pain, and emotional charge live in the analytical mind. It doesn't. It lives in a completely different file cabinet. The reactive mind is a source of anxiety, phobias, misemotions, depression with no clear reason, irrational or compulsive behavior, self-sabotage. Trying to calm yourself by the reactive mind is like turning off the smoke alarm when there's a fire in the kitchen. This also explains why people repeat patterns, the same relationships, the same conflicts, the same outcomes. So what actually works? Dianetics. Dianetics is a precise method designed to locate the exact moment an engram was created and to remove the emotional stress from it. The memory remains, but without the painful emotion. It's not losing memory. It's resorting memory into the correct file cabinet. This does not remove your personality. Your personality is rational, calm. Everything you don't like about yourself, the reactions, the anxiety, the outbursts, that's reactive. Dianetics removes what isn't you so more of you can show up. Here's the corrected version of the advice. Not love yourself, but remove what makes you unable to love yourself. That means getting rid of your reactive mind. In the next video, I'll share more about how to get rid of the reactive mind.